Hey, what's going on, guys? Long time no talk. Simer's back, and we're talking about World of Warships. Tier 10 U.S. Navy Cruiser, Des Moines. And I wanted to showcase this game, just show the strengths of the ship, and tell you why I've been enjoying this ship so much. It is a difficult cruiser to play, I'll be honest with you. I see a lot of Des Moines players not really understand how best to utilize the ship. So hopefully this replay will demonstrate that. I'll be honest with you. You know, some of the maps that are at high tier in World of Warships are really wide open, and fundamentally that doesn't exactly suit the Des Moines strength, which is really close range support. It is a squishy cruiser. There's no way to deny that. It just doesn't have the best armor, and you know, it has. I mean, fundamentally, it has floaty arcs. Basically the arcs on this ship for you know, obviously its main battery are really bad in the sense that they just don't have really good AP or HE velocity. I think the velocity on them are somewhere around 845, 850, somewhere in that range. So they generally they're not laser. They're not laser guns. They're not rail guns, basically. So if you've ever played the Tier 10 Moskva, the Russian cruiser, they're the complete opposite. So what does that mean? It means you can't play far back on this ship, generally speaking, or at least you don't want to if you can help it. Thankfully, we're on Haven, and Haven is a Haven is a really good map for the Des Moines, honestly. So what do we need to do first? Domination. We've got 5 destroyers on each team. So obviously the initial approach is you want to get in close. You want to support your destroyers. You have this 8.45. What is it? 8.45? No, wait. What am I thinking? Let's see here. It's not gonna tell me. 945 radar. Your spotting is like 10.6. So you'll see that actually utilize the island here to get a little bit closer. And I did pop that radar here, and actually picked up this Benson with my radar here. And of course, I am playing solo. Every game's different. You never know if your actual teammates are gonna actually. Oh, he's just getting absolutely murdered. You never know if your teammates are actually gonna go ahead and actually shoot on the spotted destroyer. But there you go. I didn't get the kill, unfortunately. But really, my radar right there just really got that Benson killed. There's no another way to describe that. I'm not really sure what this Fletcher is doing. So I went ahead and shot in front. I expected him to speed up. And you see how lazy these shells are. You kind of have to shoot with prediction in a lot of ways. You can't just point and click like you can in some other cruisers. Yeah, I gotta think he like went AFK or something. And I wonder how he got spotted. He must have got spotted by... Oh, God. What is our team doing? Look at... We just lost 4 destroyers, no joke, in 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. We've lost 5 ships already. You can tell this was played on a weekend, man. With this many destroyers... and the thing is, they don't even have that. They don't even have radar on their team. I don't know. Destroyer players, man, I swear. So anyways, you know, I've done my job over here. Now, thankfully, I got a Z46 that is contesting and not getting himself killed. Let's put it that way. Obviously, the issue right now is that we do have a group of at least 4 ships and at least 2 battleships plus a Benson that looks like they're coming around the B cap. So that's a little bit of an issue for me. Obviously, this position's not... It was great to start off with, but now it's becoming a little bit sour here. Now, I do see this Hindenburg pop up, so I'm hoping to stay undetected and still shoot at him. Unfortunately, I glide out a little bit, but the smoke should cover me. You guys see the smoke that's still in front of me? It should cover me because my smoke firing Unfortunately, it's not going to show me in the replay. My smoke firing for the Des Moines is actually not that bad. So when you're firing from smoke, obviously your detection range increases. That's one of the new mechanic they have out. But it's not that bad. I don't remember offhand, but I feel like it's in the 9 range or something. It's really not that bad. So it's still viable to get smoked up or utilize smoke firing in the Des Moines. Unfortunately, I'm not doing as much damage as I was hoping here. I did get one fire, and he did damage control that. Now, he made a mistake here and gives me broadside. And with these, so I was saying how bad the floating arcs are. Well, the Des Moines absolutely wrecks cruisers at about that range, and part of the reason is because of the floating arcs. It's able to plunge. Basically, you get that plunging fire effect, and these shells hit hard. American AP is absolutely no joke. And you may have noticed that I was able to switch shells within, I think it's like 1 second. I was able to switch from HE to AP within 1 second. I am running the skill that allows you to decrease the time to switch shells. And I'm also running the Steven Seagal Captain, which I highly suggest if you have Steven Seagal, you go ahead and get him on the Des Moines. Of course, you can use him on the Montana as well. But one of his perks is increasing this percent for the ammo switch. I think the default is 50%, and with Steven Seagal, you get that up to 75%. So, and the fact is my reload's only 5.5 seconds. You guys get the point. It only takes, you know, a little over 1 second to actually switch. So anyways, so we are down 1 ship. It's a 6 versus 7 right now. We are down in points, but thankfully we are getting the B cap. Still worried about this push from the southwest side. They have two, they've got a Gearing and a Benson left. And obviously we see the Gearing did just cap C. So right now I think in my best interest is to relocate. I don't really want to face these battleships up close. That's just, there's nothing I can do. Of course, I do not have torpedoes. And as we see, there's our 2 Montanas are up, you know, towards the C cap. And if I can help them with the Gearing, of course, I'm going to try and do that. Now, I do see this Yamato giving me broadside, and I'm going to definitely take these shots here. I get into cover, which is my plan. Unfortunately, the Montana does get a salvo off at me, which I was hoping that he wouldn't. And as you can see, as soon as you start sailing kind of out in the open, even if you are angled, you're going to eat a shit ton of damage. Oh, Benson pops up here. And look at this. See, that's what's great about these shell arcs. I can get it over these little islands here without issues. So once you get a hang of kind of how to aim with the Des Moines, and you're able to play smart, safe, and have really good awareness, you know, within these islands, you kind of are playing dangerous the whole time, and I think that's where a lot of people struggle. Some Des Moines players, I see them just trying to sail in the open, firing, and that's just not going to work. You've got to position yourself where you can't really get shot from a lot of different angles, or generally speaking, no angles at all. Like where I am right now, it may not look like the best position because I'm literally in the middle. But I'm not spotted, first off. And right now, the only person who shoot at me is North Carolina. And with my AP, I could absolutely melt him. So I'm going to go ahead and take that opportunity to try and melt him. He's giving me full broadside. And you see, that's, well, I was only in, you know, 2.6K volley, but let's see what this one does. Yeah. I mean, that was a 7K volley right there. Of course, now the Hindenburg does have my broadside now. He is busy with the Montana, and he just got absolutely, he got blapped. I am worried about those battleships. They potentially could arc over. So I do angle away from them. And there you go, another blap. And that's, I racked up just 2 kills right there in a row. So At this point, not only do we have the advantage in far as ships, but we also have the point lead now. So that was really big. The Benson got way too aggressive. The North Carolina must have taken torps or was giving broadside. I'm not sure. He got wrecked though. And what looked like a potential loss is actually turning, directly into a win. And that's because our battleships supported our team, whereas, you can look at the last seen positions of their battleships. They really haven't supported their team at all. Now, unfortunately, I got caught with this widespread torpedo, and I can only assume that obviously that's from the gearing, which is still around the sea area here. So I'm spotted. I went ahead and popped radar, but actually our Z-46 picked up the gearing here. And even though you have these floaty arcs, if you do hit, they do a lot of damage. Now, unfortunately, I haven't hit them at all, but your reload's also amazing. 5.5 second reload. I do run the range mod. I just talked about how you want to get in close, and certainly you do. But unfortunately, a lot of the maps that are high tier maps, they tend to be much more wide open. I'd say Haven is probably the best Des Moines map there is. I mean, there are some other good ones too, but here I'm just trying to get some shots on this North Carolina. I'm also trying to wiggle my way into this island here. Ooh, our Otago got wrecked. Oof. Look at that. That was 6K just straight through the nose. And that's a tier 8 battleship. I mean, unfortunately, I got out of... well, actually, I don't know who... The Otago may have been spotting him. But look at this. I can shoot without being detected right over this. And these are the kind of positions you want to find yourself in, or try and get in within reason. Obviously, you have to read the map. And at this point, there's no one basically to my left or to my east that can shoot me. And so really, I'm just taking cover from this North Carolina here. I was able to force a damage control on him. So that'll be a permanent fire right there. Yeah, I think fundamentally, the Des Moines, of course, you can have monster games in it. Cruisers give you broadside, battleships give you broadside, but generally speaking, you want to position yourself close to the caps so you can provide that radar. But you don't want to get shot at, so it's kind of a double-edged sword in a way. But your radar is so valuable. I mean, I'm running the radar module, so it increases my radar time. So I think I have radar upwards of like 55 seconds or somewhere in that range, which is just insane. So you really want to, just like all cruisers, the Des Moines no different. You want to support your destroyers, and you significantly, exponentially become more dangerous as the game progresses, because it means it's less ships that you have to angle against, and it's when your DPM really can shine. Like me versus North Carolina, I would have no issues with the North Carolina, provided that it's a one-on-one fight, and I'm able to, of course, get the first salvos off. Obviously, ideally, he would be giving me some type of angle, and before you know it, 3 or 4 salvos into him, or 2 or 3 salvos, you're upwards of 10, 15K if he's giving you broadside. So I think the point is that you want to play safe, but you want to have high impact early game, and I think that's really a strength of Des Moines. You don't want to suicide at the beginning of the game, and you don't want to just play 18K and back, because from that range you're not going to hit cruisers, you're not going to hit destroyers. The only thing you're going to hit is battleships, And honestly, I mean, fundamentally, there's just better ships at that. And you're not making use of your radar. So I think this game did a pretty good job of demonstrating that. Played fairly close the whole game, but I never really was in too much danger. I did get hit pretty hard by that Montana, but I felt like I kind of at the same time made that Yamato turn away. So, and at this point, the game's over. We have all the caps, so now I'm just trying to put in damage. Really, is what it is. And as soon as battleship starts giving you broadside, go ahead and switch to AP, and you can really start getting some nice salvos in. I mean, there's a 7,000 salvo right there. Maybe aiming a little too low at this point. 5,000. I mean, your DPM just goes nuts. So, anyways, let's take a look at my build and recommended. My recommended build. Let's do it. All right, guys, let's take a look at our Des Moines here. So, as I mentioned, first off, I am running Steven Seagal Captain, just for reference. Let's actually take a look at the modules first, though. Of course, Tier 10 Cruiser, you're not going to have any module upgrades as far as, I guess, anyways, standard upgrades come with it, Tier 10, right? So let's take a look at consumables. Of course, I definitely would highly recommend running, of course, radar. You should never be running catapult, fighter, or spotting aircraft in the Des Moines. You should be running radar. It's a 9.9. I apologize. I misquoted that in the game earlier. 9.9 radar range. And actually, the great thing is I'm running the surveillance radar mod 1. So if you do have this upgrade, this is plus 40% to the action time of surveillance radar. That is a crazy. That means my radar lasts 56 seconds. That's ridiculous. That will absolutely melt any destroyer with basically your DPM, and then if any of your teammates happen to shoot as well. That's ridiculous. Obviously, I'd run defensive fire as well. Obviously, if you're playing clan battles, you should run Hydro, obviously. But for random battles, I would run defensive AA. Not to say you couldn't get away with Hydro, but your AA is so good on this ship. You absolutely shred planes up to 7.2 km. Your mid-range, but this still is actually your long-range aura, is 335 plus 91. That's what, 436. That is absolute crazy DPS. You are you're one of the deadliest AA ships in the game. So why run Hydro? I'd run defensive AA, and you are literally a no-fly zone for 7.2 kilometers. Obviously, run premium damage control. In order, I'd probably run damage control, premium, heal premium, then radar premium, and you could probably get away with not running defensive AA if you wanted to. I just run them all premium. Let's look at upgrades. Main arm mod 1. I don't see any of these being useful. Obviously, you definitely want to go AA range. This is definitely the best perk here. You want to get more AA range to make that no-fly zone up to 7.2. I run the, for the third slot, I run the main battery maximum firing range, so gunfire control mod 2. I just don't see you getting a whole lot of benefit. Obviously, this is going to help you. As I mentioned, a lot of the maps you're going to play on are kind of wide open, and it's going to help you reach, ships from a farther range. Your default range, honestly, is not that good. Let's take a look. So your default range is what, like 16 km? That's not very good. So, fundamentally, I'd like to increase that range. I just don't see your alternative could be, you could run AA gun mod 3. That's actually not that bad of an upgrade, but I think your guns, obviously, you need to, put in work, and I think this is just your best upgrade, honestly. Secondary is not useful. I've heard some people run this main battery mod 3, but you're only getting minus 12% reload time, where your guns already reload at 5.5 seconds. I don't see that being as useful either. So, of course, I'm running the radar mod. If you don't have radar mod, I'd probably just run damage control. I don't ever really seem to lose engine or steering. Of course, you could run defensive AA mod if you have this one. And then once again, if you are playing Clan Wars and have the Hydra mod, you could run that as well. I go with steering gears. I think your rudder shift definitely improves with this. It's only brings it to 6.9, which is actually pretty good for a cruiser. And so that's why I like to run the rudder. Like I said, you want to get you want to play up close and near islands, so it really helps to maneuver your ship in those kind of small spaces there. And then of course concealment. I would not run any of these other ones. You definitely want to make sure your concealment is as good as possible, which will help you get up close and dirty. If you know what I mean. All right, let's look at my captain. I only got a 17-point captain on Steven Seagal. Actually working on that 18-point captain. Should have that here soon. So just with my build, I'm running priority target. Definitely something. This is the expert loader I was talking about. So this is 75% reload time. Reduced if I switch ammo types, and this is what you're going to be doing a lot with the Des Moines. As soon as a cruiser gives you broadside, or as soon as a battleship gives you broadside, you already have HE loaded. Make sure you wait till it's fully reloaded, then switch, and it's literally like 1 second switch, and you can go ahead and pump in those citadels or get really good damage with your AP, because obviously your AP is really your bread and butter. Now, obviously, it just depends on the angling of the ship. If they're giving you broadside AP, if they're trying to bow tank you or whatever, HE is the way to go. I'm running expert marksman, but in priority, I would go priority target, adrenaline rush, superintendent. You definitely want to get additional heal, additional radar, additional AA, and then concealment. Once you have that 10-point build, which obviously you should by the time you have a tier 10, I'd probably recommend going AFT. And the reason being is you're going to go ahead and really get that AA range all the way up. Now, I guess you could actually go ahead and get expert loader first if you wanted to do that. That's just going to help you with regards to your guns. I would definitely pick up adrenaline rush. This is a skill I run on every build I have. And that's just, it's just a great skill. I'm running expert marksman. I think once I have my 19-point captain, though, I think I'll probably spec out of expert marksman, and I'll probably either go BFT. So let's see, if I get rid of that, I'll have 19 points. I'll have 4 points remaining. I'll probably go BFT and then preventive maintenance. I mean, the BFT is just going to help my AA even more. You could, instead of doing that, you could go demo expert and preventive maintenance. You will sometimes your turrets do get knocked out, so that's why I'm thinking I definitely want preventive maintenance. I do like the fact that my turrets turn a little bit better, and also Steven Seagal helps with this. There's a buff here; it's a 1 degree buff. Whereas, for example, if I was on Moskva, let's see here. The standard is 0.7, so you do get a 0.3 increase with Steven Seagal. So, anyways, I think there's some different flavor there. It's really up to you. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the Des Moines. Definitely one of my favorite cruisers. I think it is a high skill ship in the sense that it's all about positioning. It's all about team play. You literally can lock down caps if you play it right, and you can deal a lot of damage. And it is a high impact, lower damage cruiser, if that makes any sense. You may not always have monster games, but you have a lot of impact on the game if you play it right, and you can also have monster games. So hopefully that makes sense. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later.